Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're going on a laughter-filled journey through the extraordinary career of one of the greatest entertainers the world has ever known, Robin Williams. And we're starting with a countdown of his best movies.
I don't think you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just ruminate whilst I illuminate the possibilities?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Robin Williams movies.
Hello! Ah! Oh, I'm sorry to frighten you, dear. I must look like a yeti in this getup.
For this list, we're looking at the filmography of the late, great Robin Williams, and looking at the best comedies and dramas of his decades-long career. Number 20, Popeye. Robin Williams transitioned from stand-up comedian to Mork and Mindy TV star in 1978. 2 years later, he made his feature film debut in Popeye.
And I never hurt nobody's, and I'll never tell a lie. Top to me bottom, from the bottoms to me top. That's the way it is till the days that I drop. What am I? I am what I am.
Hollywood icon Robert Altman helmed the live-action adaptation of the famous cartoon. Juxtaposing musical numbers with slapstick comedy, Popeye is a rather uneven effort by Altman. But there are few actors in movie history with the comic chops of Robin Williams.
One tough gazookas that hates all palookas that ain't on the up and square. I biffs them and buffs them and always outroughs them, and none of them gets nowhere.
He made absolute mincemeat of the physical comedy, and the film did well at the box office, even though it wasn't a blockbuster. To this day, its decades-long home video run has made it a cult classic. Number 19, Death to Smoochie.
Friends come in all sizes, take it from me. Golly gee, size never matters when you want some friendly patter from a pal who is true.
Imagine if the actors on Sesame Street went to war with Barney the dinosaur. That essentially is the plot of the 2002 comedy Death to Smoochie. Williams Rainbow Randolph is a children's television star who misuses alcohol and falls from grace after taking a bribe. When he spirals and loses it all, he blames his replacement Smoochie for ruining his life.
I don't think you want to hurt anyone here.
Oh, go blow yourself, Martha. Look what you've done to this place. It's all Diane Fossey. When I lived here, it was Bob Fosse.
Williams is at his most hilariously deranged in this revenge comedy. Death to Smoochie's great sin is that it was probably made a decade too early. The clever, acerbic, cynical comedy that was slammed by critics at the time has become a staple of modern comedy. Number 18, Hook. What would happen if Peter Pan gave up on Neverland and decided to grow up? Well, you might end up with Robin Williams as the portrayal of his grown-up self, for one. We'll take it. Steven Spielberg directs an all-star cast with Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook and Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell. Even Glenn Close got an uncredited cameo as a bearded pirate.
Yes, you made a boo-boo.
I did. I did.
The boo box.
No,
The boo box. Yeah.
Williams is in his sweet spot in Hook, with fast-talking humor, physical comedy, and a ton of heart. His Peter Pan is a victim of modern adulthood. He's fallen prey to the grind at the expense of his own family and happiness. It's a sweet story about Peter rediscovering his inner child to save his son from generational trauma.
Think one happy thought. You fly like me.
Mommy! My dad. Peter Pan.
Number 17, What Dreams May Come.
Being reborn. See, that's the one thing we can't have here. Finding each other. All over again. Falling in love.
What Dreams May Come is an intensely emotional adaptation of the Richard Matheson novel. Robin Williams plays Chris Nielsen, a pediatrician who meets artist Annie Collins and falls in love. Years later, the couple lose their son and daughter in a tragic car accident. Chris, too, eventually dies in another accident. His confused spirit lingers, accidentally tormenting Annie with his presence. Eventually, Chris reaches his own personal heaven. But when he discovers that Annie has also died and is suffering from her guilt, he descends like Dante to save her.
Together at the end, by that lake in your painting. It was our heaven, see? There's lots of things to miss.
The film is a visually stunning masterpiece. Williams handles the dark subject matter with heartbreaking sincerity. If you want to catch up on what dreams may come, do not forget the tissues. Number 16, Night at the Museum. While the Night at the Museum franchise continues to grow, the original featured Ben Stiller as a late-night security guard in a history museum magically come to life. Robin Williams plays his sidekick and mentor, the statue of Teddy Roosevelt.
Some of us are just ordinary.
No, you're not, Lawrence. For the love of Gideon, stop wallowing in self-pity. Every great journey begins with a single footstep. If you could teach the inhabitants to get along, they wouldn't need to be locked up night after night.
Night at the Museum is a solid family comedy. While it wasn't a big hit with critics, it's hard to find fault whenever Teddy appears to help. Williams tackled the role with his typical brand of straight laughs tinged with pathos, and there are real layers to a character that anyone else could have easily written off.
You saved me.
You're worth saving, my dear.
Oh, that's problematic.
Teddy! Oh, man.
Larry, relax. I'm wax.
Teddy centered the film, and Williams' rapport with Ben Stiller kept the franchise going for a full trilogy. Number 15, Happy Feet. Since his time as a student at Juilliard, people were blown away by Robin Williams' accents and voice work. Luckily, his multiple turns in animation allowed him to go nuts with wild voices.
You got the most charisma of anybody.
Put that ego away, Ramon. You're gonna hurt someone.
Oh, you're so jealous. Just a moment. I hear people wanting something. Me!
Happy Feet is a great example of this, with Williams playing a slew of characters, namely Ramon, Cletus, Lovelace, and the narrator. The joy he gets from doing voices is clear in every frame. His characters are equally ridiculous despite really feeling like different people. It's a great coming-of-age film for young kids, with plenty of laughs for their parents.
You bring this stranger before me. He doubts my powers. He compares me to a squaw.
Number 14, Jumanji. 20 years before The Rock tackled the dangers of Jumanji with big grins and bigger muscles, Robin Williams did it with a cape made of leaves and one heck of a beard. Jumanji was a big deal for 90s kids.
I've seen things you've only seen in your nightmares. Things you can't even imagine. Things you can't even see.
It was an adventure story, one that felt like it had never been done before and quickly cemented itself as a classic. With his typical blend of laughs and real emotion, Williams' genuine vibe helps audiences tap into their own fear centers. Whether running from animatronic lions or CGI monkeys, Williams' Alan Parrish acts and reacts totally genuinely in every situation. He isn't an action star, he is a relatable everyman in a crazy situation, a feat that really set this fantasy adventure apart.
I'm sorry. 26 years buried in the deepest, darkest jungle, and I still became my father. It's okay, come here, I'm sorry. Hey, it's all right.
Number 13, The World According to Garp. After doing Popeye, Williams decided to pivot and take on the titular role in the drama The World According to Garp. It's a satirical melodrama that covers a man's entire life, from his unusual beginnings to his bittersweet end.
Remember,
What, my love?
everything, Helen.
Yes, my love.
Garp is the son of Jenny Fields, a feminist icon played by Glenn Close in her feature debut. The film is a fascinating window into modern American history, taking on politics, gender, and gender identity. Unlike many films of the era, it actually holds up really well years later. Both Garp and his mother face violent political radicalization, a theme that resonates even more in the age of social media.
I want my mother alive again. And since I can't have that, and since I miss her terribly, I want to be around as many people as possible who feel the same way as I do.
Number 12, Moscow on the Hudson. In Moscow on the Hudson, Williams plays Vladimir Ivanov, a musician with the Moscow Circus who defects on a trip to New York City.
You must to help me. I want political asylum.
I'm a security officer. I'm not a policeman.
Then they will send me to mental hospital.
Who are these dudes?
KGB, they will kill me.
All right, hold it.
The film is an earnest examination of immigration, politics, and loneliness. Vlad struggles to survive in the Soviet Union, so when his circus performs in New York, he takes the opportunity to escape. But life in New York in the 1980s wasn't so easy. Vlad grapples with the language barrier and tries to find work and love. He's even at one point violently mugged. Moscow on the Hudson is a very particular slice of life, but its story is universal.
I could hold it. I could caress it. I loved my misery.
Number 11, 1 Hour Photo. In 1 Hour Photo, Robin Williams cranks the creep factor up to 11.
Am I talking to a brick wall? Did I tell you to touch her? No. I don't want you to touch her. If you touch her again, I stab you in the heart.
Before the age of digital photography, almost every strip mall in America had a 1 Hour Photo. Williams is Cy, a photo lab technician who becomes obsessed with the lives of his customers. He lives vicariously through their photos, fantasizing that he's a part of their lives. Cy's obsession takes a dark turn as he begins to stalk the Yorkin family. The Chicago Sun-Times praised Williams' ability to portray such a, quote, open-faced, smiling madman.
Things that children shouldn't do. You would never take disgusting, sick, degrading pictures of your children doing these things.
Though he's played villains before and since, 1 Hour Photo is arguably Robin's darkest character. Number 10, Awakenings. Unlike many Robin Williams characters, Dr. Sayer in Awakenings isn't particularly funny. He's a shy doctor utterly dedicated to helping catatonic patients.
You think these are signs of normal behavior?
Because he's in that place.
Oh, is that it?
Yes. We wake him up and then we lock him up in a cage. That's not paranoia. That's a fact.
His fellow doctors and nurses, though, treat patients as little more than furniture. Sayer tests an exciting new drug on one of his patients, Robert De Niro's Leonard. When Leonard wakes up from his catatonia, the test is expanded to other patients. The results are temporary, and each patient eventually falls back into their original state. It's a sad ending, but Sayer manages to find the silver lining. He teaches his colleagues and the audience to remember to see the humanity in everyone.
With work, play, friendship, family. These are the things that matter.
Number 9, World's Greatest Dad. World's Greatest Dad is a unique comedy in Robin Williams' filmography. Similar to Dear Evan Hansen, his character stumbles into fame through the death of another. When his son dies in an embarrassing accident, he stages the body and writes a note. In the aftermath, he and his son receive the attention he's always desired as a struggling writer.
You know, I'm not going to pretend that I know what's going on in the mind of a teenager. All I'm saying is Kyle made a mistake. If you're that depressed, reach out to someone.
The film was Robin Williams' first collaboration with his longtime friend, director Bobcat Goldthwait. Goldthwait was initially worried about the awkwardness of directing one of his best friends, but as it turned out, they worked well together in a professional setting too. Though the film flopped at the box office, it was well reviewed by critics.
I liked it.
Really?
You're a good writer. I think you should keep writing.
Thanks, Andrew, I will.
Number 8, The Fisher King. The Fisher King begins with a focus on Jeff Bridges' character, a radio shock jock. His careless words inspire real-life violence. One night, he faces a truly dark night of the soul walking the streets of New York City, where he's mugged and then saved by Robin Williams Perry, a person living with a mental health condition on the streets.
Respect for all kinds of life, a nice bowel movement on a regular basis, and a navy blazer. Oh, one more thing. Never take your eye off the ball.
Perry believes he is a knight on a quest for the Holy Grail. The two strike up an unlikely friendship, helping each other climb out of a pit of grief and guilt. At the end, their bond allows them each to find forgiveness. While the subject matter is dark, the film is a meditation on hope and redemption.
When her robe is unfurled, she will show you the world if you step up and tell her where. For a dime you can see Kankakee or Perry or Washington crossing the Delaware.
Robin Williams received his third Oscar nomination for Perry. Number 7, The Birdcage. It's hard to argue that any Robin Williams film had more long-term impact than The Birdcage. The movie is a remake of the French and Italian classic La Cage aux Folles. Armand is a gay drag club owner in South Beach. His son returns home to tell his dad that he's engaged.
Tell me it's all right.
It's all right. I always dreamed you'd do this, it's just not so soon.
Unfortunately, his fiancée is the daughter of a conservative senator. Before hosting the senator, Armand must learn to pretend to be a heteronormative family. comedy gold ensues. The Birdcage was one of the first major films to help normalize gay relationships and families in America.
We lied to you. Barbara and I and everybody lied for us. These are my parents.
This is my wife. And this is the lady who had Val.
It's nice to meet you, Catherine.
Very nice, Val. You've done a good job.
Thank you. I'm very proud of him.
It tells us that being macho is not the only way to be a good man, and that love is love. The ripples of that impact still resonate today. Number 6, Insomnia. Insomnia is another film where Williams gets to show off his bad guy bona fides. Directed by Christopher Nolan, Insomnia is a remake of a Norwegian thriller. Williams plays Finch, a murderous crime writer in a game of cat and mouse with Al Pacino, an LAPD detective.
I'm not a murderer any more than you are.
Well, then why don't we get together, just talk, have a few beers, whatever.
Yeah, throw a little gas on the fire, huh?
Yeah.
The two circle and chase each other, neither entirely good or bad. The backdrop is a land of midnight sun in a remote Alaskan town. Critics were impressed by how well Williams held his own across from a heavyweight like Al Pacino.
I knew they'd connect me to Kay eventually. I could handle them. They never look in the eyes of a killer. Killing changes you. You know that. It's not guilt.
It's clear where Chris Nolan learned to cast actors against type. It's a skill he would employ again 6 years later with Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. Number 5, Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll. Time to rock it from the Delta to the DMZ. Is that me or does that sound like an Elvis Presley movie? Viva Da Nang. Oh, viva Da Nang. Da Nang me, why don't they get a rope and hang me? Hey, is it a little too early for being that loud? Hey, too late. It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh, my God, it's early. Speaking of early, how about that Cro-Magnon Marty Drywitz? Thank you, Marty, for silky smooth sound. Make me sound like Peggy Lee.
Good morning, Vietnam. What the heck is that supposed to mean?
Thanks to MASH, Good Morning Vietnam found a receptive audience for an irreverent military comedy. Williams stars as Adrian Cronauer, an airman who wins over American troops as a disc jockey during the Vietnam War. Beloved by enlisted men and despised by his superiors, Cronauer makes a big splash. His superiors eventually try to get him killed by routing him through a hot zone. Good Morning Vietnam explores how to maintain personal integrity and real friendship during war.
The Army knows about your brother. I have to leave the country because of my association with him. They have pictures of him. If they find him, they will shoot him. If you want to continue to have a brother, you take me to him now!
Williams was universally praised and received his first ever Oscar nomination. Plus, the movie has a stellar soundtrack. Number 4, Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire is one of several of Williams' movies to get turned into hit theater adaptations. It's no wonder why. The film is classic Robin Williams. If you've been living under a rock for the past 30 years, the movie follows a down-on-his-luck voice actor desperate to reconnect with his family.
Mrs. Hillard, I presume?
Yes, I'm Miranda Hillard.
Euphigenia Doubtfire.
Oh, yes. Won't you please come in?
Thank you, dear.
Using his industry connections to give him professional prosthetic makeup, Daniel Hillard manages to pose as a Scottish-ish nanny for his own children. As with many of the performer's endeavors, Mrs. Doubtfire is a comedy with real pain and conflict at its center. It's a story about missing what you've got once it's gone. Williams' character goes to absurd but endearing lengths to get his family back.
I love them with all my heart. And the idea of someone telling me I can't be with them, I can't see them every day, well, it's like someone saying I can't have air. I can't live without air, and I can't live without them. Listen, I would do anything. I just want to be with him. You know, I need that, sir. We have a history. And they mean everything to me, and they need me as much as I need them. So please, don't take my kids away from me.
Number 3, Dead Poets Society.
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life.
poetry, beauty, romance, love. These are what we stay alive for.
In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Hollywood seemed to have a miniature obsession with movies about boys' boarding schools. Before Scent of a Woman, School Ties, and Toy Soldiers, it was 1989's Dead Poets Society that seemed to kickstart the trend of prep school backdrops. Williams stars as Mr. Keating, an English teacher who uses poetry to inspire his students.
We're going to talk about Shakespeare as someone who writes something very interesting. Now, many of you have seen Shakespeare
Done very much like this. Oh, Titus, bring your friend hither.
But if any of you have seen Mr. Marlon Brando...
No, but Shakespeare can be different. France, Romans, countrymen. Let me rest.
You can also imagine maybe John Wayne as Macbeth going, well, is this a dagger I see before me?
Through Mr. Keating, we see the importance of the arts and self-expression. They are tools that can help young people learn who they are meant to be in an otherwise cold, unfeeling world. Mr. Keating ultimately pays for his insight with his job, but we bet his students never forgot the lesson.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Number 2, Aladdin.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. Hang on a second. Wow! Wow! Does it feel good to be out of there? I'm telling you, nice to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, where are you from? What's your name?
Aladdin.
Aladdin. Hello, Aladdin. Nice to have you on the show. Can we call you Al, or maybe just Din?
Before Aladdin, voice acting in kids' cartoons was typically left to voice actors. Big-name Hollywood stars stayed away. But this role changed everything. Aladdin made hundreds of millions at the box office, and Disney continued to rake in the big bucks with home video, toys, video games, and even a Tony-winning Broadway musical.
I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never had a friend like me. No, man. No, no. Can your friends do this? Can your friends do that? Can your friends pull this out their little hat?
The film itself is the pinnacle of 1990s Disney, and Williams' Genie was beloved by multiple generations. His popularity led to a real shift in the industry, finally solidified by Tim Allen and Tom Hanks in Toy Story a few years later. Big names in animated films are now the norm, though it's difficult to hold a candle to Williams' performance as Genie. Number 1, Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting is a hard-scrabble drama about a math genius from South Boston, which catapulted writers and stars Matt Damon and Ben Affleck to superstardom. Still, it wasn't an easy road to get there. The film went through development hell for years.
You've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable. Known someone that could level you with her eyes. Feeling like God put an angel on earth just for you. Who could rescue you from the depths of hell. And you wouldn't know what it's like to be her angel. To have that love for her be there forever. Through anything. Through cancer. And you would know about sleeping sitting up in a hospital room for 2 months, holding her hand, because the doctors could see in your eyes that the terms visiting hours don't apply to you. You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself.
It cycled through multiple production companies before getting made. When casting, they wanted a major talent to play Sean, the moral heart of the film, and the script eventually made its way to Williams. He loved it so much that he agreed to a massive multi-million-dollar pay cut. When asked about it, he said, quote, "I had to. They would have made this movie without me. It's too good not to be made." His instincts paid off. After 4 nominations in the span of a decade, Robin Williams finally won his Oscar.
Just tell him, sorry. I had to go see about a girl. Will. Son of a bitch. He stole my line.
All right, it's now time to check out the many, and I mean many, unscripted moments from Robin Williams.
You nominated us, you even have a category for us, comedy and dancing.
There's a lot of dancers who could have been up here tonight, but they didn't make it.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 unscripted Robin Williams moments.
Hello?
Layla, get back in your cell. Don't make me get the hose. Hello?
For this list, we're looking at the best instances where Williams was able to improvise, be it in a film, on a television show, at an award ceremony, or anywhere in between. Which unscripted Robin Williams moment is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20. Marlon Brando does Shakespeare, Dead Poets Society. One of Robin Williams' signature dramatic roles allowed for levity and even a small amount of improvisation. In this particular scene, his character John gives a lesson on Shakespeare.
We're going to talk about Shakespeare as someone who writes something very interesting. Now, many of you have seen Shakespeare done
Very much like this. Oh, Titus, bring your friend hither.
The spiel diverts from the usual boring and monotonous lecture thanks to the actor's ability to think on his feet. He resorts to impersonating legends like Marlon Brando to get his point across, with no script prompting him to do so.
But if any of you have seen Mr. Marlon Brando,
No, but Shakespeare can be different. France, Romans, countrymen. Let me rest.
Of course, the moment feels completely natural because of Williams' inherent comedic gifts. While most of the film is serious, the late genius managed to include this hilarious ad-lib without ever taking us out of the story. Number 19. The Chinese restaurant scene, The Fisher King. Director Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King defies description and contains an Oscar-nominated performance from Robin Williams. During a double date, the comedian and Jeff Bridges star opposite Mercedes Ruehl and Amanda Plummer in a hilariously disastrous scene. The four actors' characters are unable to keep a solid conversation, and a variety of awkward moments ensue.
Yeah!
Apparently, the iconic scene was born out of improvisation, making it all the more impressive, especially when you consider Williams' surprise singing performance.
He will show you the world if you step up and tell her where. For a dime you can see Kankakee or Perry or Washington crossing the Delaware.
The eternally lovable actor approaches the scene with a quiet and mischievous nature that's completely captivating. His heartfelt and genuine character truly comes alive, and it feels like he's delivering a masterclass in improv. Number 18. Playing Heads Up, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. When Robin Williams joined Ellen DeGeneres to play Heads Up, we got a glimpse into what he might have been like on game nights. His ability to chain together accents and impersonations at a moment's notice is nothing short of impressive. He even makes a Miley Cyrus impression work under the circumstances.
Imagine a wrecking ball.
Oh! Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
The game becomes an afterthought at a certain point, as Williams takes over with a whirlwind of comedic intensity. With his hilarious attempts at mimicking everyone from Cher to David Beckham, the performer brings the house down.
Right then, right there. Hey, right there. Score!
Beckham.
DeGeneres can't help but laugh at his continuously amusing and completely unscripted hijinks, and we are right there with her. Number 17. His entire appearance. Whose line is it anyway? It's only fitting that a master improviser like Robin Williams would end up on the unscripted show Whose Line Is It Anyway? The legend gets off to a raucous start, providing one of the most lovably hectic guest spots in the show's history. He plays well with his co-stars, particularly in a sketch about directors ordering around unruly actors.
All right, what we need is something totally...
Can I take a moment?
Take it. Done. All right. That's why I love working with you. What about me? Shut up.
There's no doubt he always makes his fellow scene partners look good, with or without props. All the while, the entertainer seems to be in his happy place in a show full of improvisational games.
Hello, Lucy! What are you doing here at the show?
Needless to say, he makes the most of a truly generous and funny appearance. Number 16. Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters improvise together. 60 Minutes. Robin Williams took inspiration from a number of comic personalities, including the improvisational genius Jonathan Winters. During this 60 Minutes interview, Winters gets interrupted by his friend and fellow comedian. Williams instantly transforms into a director, ordering his counterpart to try out different personas.
I want you to work with your eyes.
I work with my eyes.
Let us see your eyes. Tell us what you really feel.
Okay.
Subtext is love.
Edward, we're going to get you through the tunnel.
Once the action shifts outside, the two entertainers really get going, drifting in and out of bizarre characters in a haze of wonderfully zany unscripted bits. The fact that Winters was an incredibly important figure in Williams' life makes the segment especially thrilling to see.
Well, put my hands on your head now.
No, but they're in my hands. Why would you put your hand on my head?
Because
there's nothing matter with my
it's
head.
It's a two-shot. Go with me. It's a two-shot. Work with me now. Work with me, demon spirit.
The episode provides a stage for two of America's greatest improvisers to shine, and we could never get enough of it. Number 15, Slipping on the Floor, The Birdcage. In one of his more underrated comedies, Williams plays Armand Goldman, the owner of a Miami drag club.
Fussy, 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 you do Martha Graham, Martha Graham, Martha Graham, or Twyla, 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 or Michael Kidd, Michael Kidd, Michael Kidd, Michael Kidd, or Madonna, Madonna, Madonna.
He's forced to act straight with his partner, Nathan Lane dressed as a middle-aged woman, while meeting his son's conservative in-laws-to-be.
You men, you're just the biggest babies. You know, they can run the world, but they can't pick out a tie.
Oh, I know. I can't get this big lug to buy a new suit.
In the climactic dinner sequence, Armand slips and falls while carrying a pot of soup. According to Williams co-star Hank Azaria, Williams actually slipped and fell while filming the sequence. Ever the pro, Williams simply got back up and carried on, although he nearly breaks while telling his son to go, go.
Things to do, you don't give me no time to shout.
Shut up! It's okay. We're all right. It's fine. Just shut up, goddamn you. It's all right. Stop crying. Goddamn you. What are you standing there for? Go. Go. She'll be here in a minute. Go.
Number 14, Inside the Actor's Studio interview. Inside the Actor's Studio. During his stint on Inside the Actor's Studio, Williams hilariously went off the rails in seconds. He has everyone laughing their butts off before host James Lipton has asked a single question.
A lot of times people know the Reverend will do that. A lot of times you feel the need to do that. Okay, we're ready now.
Things don't get less interesting once the interview gets going either. Between anecdotes and discussions about technique, the pair also deals with serious subjects in a playful way. And the comedian's interaction with the audience makes the episode extra memorable. Turning his appearance into a stand-up set, he repeatedly creates hysterical situations out of thin air.
Attempts to get attention from their parents. Or from my mom, especially. And that was what both of... Oh, big time. Just to get breastfed was a really important thing.
I remember going, is this thing on?
He subverts the traditional talk show format in the best way, giving Lipton and everyone watching a front row seat to his genius. Number 13, The Prank Phone Calls, Mrs. Doubtfire. Director Chris Columbus allowed Robin Williams to improvise throughout the making of Mrs. Doubtfire. In the scene where his character Daniel prank calls Sally Field's Miranda, Williams unleashes increasingly outrageous voices from his comedic mind.
I was in a band, severe tire damage.
In a band?
I just want to know one thing. Are your kids well behaved? Or do they need like a few light slams every now and then?
Outtakes from the production reveal the staggering number of takes he completed for the sequence. While the final product mostly follows the script with some improv thrown in, the behind-the-scenes clips present other variations of the moment. Each alternate shot gets more absurd as Williams invents new personalities with wild backstories.
You know, because if they need a few light slams, I'm the one for them. Don't make me. All right, then. No! That's it. Next time it's on target.
Even after filming dozens of takes, he manages to return with crazier ideas and a boundless energy. Of course, that's precisely what made him one in a million. Number 12, Robin and Billy Crystal at the Oscars, the 76th Academy Awards. Collaborators and friends, Billy Crystal and Robin Williams were no stranger to working together. During one of Crystal's hosting gigs at the Oscars, Williams joins him on stage for what winds up becoming a comedic break in the show. Standing behind the lead presenter, the comedian pretends to dub the host. The seemingly unscripted jokes keep coming as the entertainer pokes fun at the ceremony itself and their attire.
And Robin stands next to me, and as the caucus is droning on, Robin says, "No way this mother wins."
Putting a new spin on standard award show banter, the duo throws the ceremony for a much-needed loop. And Williams keeps this energy when introducing the next award category afterward. It's safe to say the actor really thrived during this broadcast in front of his peers.
The moment they say your name when you win, English becomes a second language. And I forgot to thank my mother, and she was in the audience. Yeah, even the therapist went, "Get out!"
Number 11, much of the movie, Jack. One of Francis Ford Coppola's lesser efforts, Jack stars Williams as Jack Powell, a kid who ages 4 times faster than a typical child.
Just can't sleep. I had a scary dream. Can I sleep in here?
Yeah, of course, buddy.
Stimpy too?
Sure.
When Jack is 10 years old and attending school, he has the body and appearance of a 45-year-old Robin Williams. According to Coppola, Williams improvised many of his lines at his insistence. He told the Christian Science Monitor, quote, "The easiest thing about working with Robin was encouraging him to improvise, for he's brilliant."
So you might want to go to the dance with me. It'd be really, really fun.
Oh, Jackie.
So you want to go? My mom will drive us.
When he began to ad-lib, it was screamingly funny. While it's not known what specific lines were improvised, it's clear that Williams had to carry much of the film on his shoulders. Even if the results were mixed, Williams' dedication is undeniable. Number 10, Shakespeare Monologue, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. People sometimes forget that Robin Williams was a classically trained actor. He brought that knowledge to his appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. In talking about Shakespeare, the guest and host trade quips about the bard, with Williams expertly parodying his trademark dialogue.
Is this to be or not to be? Right. I wrote that. It's mine. That's mine. I'm William Shakespeare, right? Kiss my tights.
In a completely improvised Shakespearean interlude, the comedian breaks into various impressions of celebrities doing Hamlet. His Stallone and Schwarzenegger impressions are particularly impressive, capturing their voices and precise styles flawlessly.
It's wonderful, I hear. It's like great to hear, right?
But Stallone, I couldn't see.
Stallone, you can feel like to be or what, you know.
Schwarzenegger walks into the room. I'm back. Watch out, Denmark.
The entire moment plays out like an expertly written piece of comedy. With Carson as his support, Williams leaps from his chair into our hearts, delivering one funny line after the other. Number 9, Pinocchio, Aladdin.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
Despite some strong competition, Williams' performance as the genie may be his best work. Not only is the voice acting terrific, but it encapsulates everything that made Williams such a fantastic entertainer. His manic energy, his uproarious comedy, and his unending creativity.
I can't make anybody fall in love with anybody else. Mwah! You little punum there. Rule number 3.
I can't bring people back from the dead. It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.
Animation supervisor Eric Goldberg fondly recalls Williams' improvisations in the recording booth, which indicated making a boop sound to indicate Aladdin's lie. It was meant to represent the sound of Pinocchio's growing nose, so Goldberg and his team worked around Williams' improv and added Pinocchio's face into the movie.
The only way I get out of this is if my master wishes me out. So, you can guess how often that's happened.
I'll do it. I'll set you free.
Uh-huh, yeah, right.
No, really, I promise. After I make my first 2 wishes, I'll use my 3rd wish to set you free.
It's amazing to consider how much creative leverage Williams had on the creation of Aladdin. Number 8, Thomas and Tim, Friends. In 1997, Williams and Billy Crystal co-starred in the Ivan Reitman comedy Father's Day. The day before it premiered, Williams and Crystal also appeared together in this Friends episode.
Do you mind if we sit?
Yeah, could you scooch?
Oh, move over just a little bit. Thank you.
Keep on scooching.
Their presence was not planned, and their characters never appeared in the script. Rather, Williams and Crystal were both near the Friends set and were asked if they wanted to cameo. They obviously agreed and reportedly improvised the entire scene.
So you went to Pete's?
What happened?
Something, why is this happening to me? I don't know, maybe it's my wound.
Forget it. At one point, Matt LeBlanc even got in on the action and improvised a rude interruption, resulting in an annoyed admonishment from Billy Crystal.
It's me. I've been sleeping with your wife.
So you're the gynecologist?
Hey, I'm trying to have a private conversation about it.
It was probably the highlight of his career.
Please, give me this thing, all right? Oh, this thing, all right? Enough!
Number 7, he stole my line. Good Will Hunting.
Sean Maguire is one of Williams' more reserved and dramatic roles, and it was the one that earned him his only Academy Award.
You don't know about real loss, because that only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself. I doubt you've ever dared to love anybody that much.
The ending of the movie sees Will going to California to reunite with Skylar and leaving Sean a note telling him he had to, quote, go see about a girl. This is a reference to a line Sean uttered earlier in the film.
Just slid my ticket across the table and I said, sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl.
I gotta go see about a girl?
Yeah.
That's what you said?
I had.
And they let you get away with that?
Oh yeah, they saw in my eyes that I meant it.
According to Matt Damon, Sean's reaction to the note was completely improvised by Williams. The script didn't have Sean saying anything, but Williams, ever the ad-libber, reportedly improvised a different line on each take. When he said the line that now appears in the movie, Damon grabbed the director in excitement, knowing that Williams had just uttered gold.
If the professor calls about that job, just tell him, sorry. I had to go see about a girl. Will.
Son of a bitch. Stole my line.
Number 6, Many Things. Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy served as Williams' mainstream breakthrough hit.
Boy, am I in for it now. Sent before the white desk again. What did I do? The solar lander, you fool. You painted a mustache on it. But Orson doesn't know I did it. Then why am I here? If I knew that, I wouldn't be talking to myself.
It all started when Williams was cast in the Happy Days episode My Favorite Orkin, and he reportedly impressed the network executives by improvising most of Mork's dialogue. His character proved so popular that he was given a spin-off, and Williams quickly became a household name. While stories of Williams' improv have been greatly exaggerated and mythologized, he still improvised to great success.
Hey, stop it, you're gonna stretch out my boots.
These are your boots? Really, I had to stuff socks in the front. Oh, Mark, you're so talented and handsome and you have such great taste in clothes.
Hey, wait a minute, I never said that.
Well, it'd be nice if you did once in a while.
One of the show's writers, David Mish, told Gizmodo, quote, he didn't do extended ad-libs, but what he did that would be so brilliant were these little things. A line here and there, a word here and there, a face, a voice. Those were the things that blew people's minds.
That's it. You know, I really hate it when you act like this.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, really? You know what I hate? I hate it when you gargle and you don't make any noise. It's like...
Number 5, Cecil B. DeMille Award Speech, the 62nd Golden Globe Awards. In 2005, Robin Williams was awarded the Cecil B. DeMille Award at the Golden Globes. He's all smiles as he accepts the Lifetime Achievement Award, honoring the impact he's made through his illustrious body of work. The actor's off-the-cuff remarks feature many of his trademarks, including accents and a few impersonations for good measure.
Try the Danish. Some nights the Danish is good for me. At that time, a long time ago, they all had day jobs. I guess things have changed. You would go to a restaurant going, hi, table for two, maybe later.
Saluting his family and colleagues, he doesn't shy away from some more emotional moments either. Williams' ability to snap between a heartfelt story and a hilarious one is abundantly clear in this clip.
I also want to thank another amazing woman, Rebecca Jane Irwin Spencer, who is my assistant, who has a quick way of really leveling me. When I get too infused with myself going, I'm a star, she'll go, hey, Mork guy.
In the end, the performer was able to touchingly thank everyone while keeping the ceremony light with his upbeat energy. Nobody else could do that quite like him.
Number 4, Melting Icing, Mrs. Doubtfire. In one of the movie's greatest sequences, Daniel is forced to play both himself and Mrs. Doubtfire when social worker Mrs. Sellner pops by for a surprise visit.
Because I have an appointment on Monday and Friday evenings to check the apartment.
I remember him saying something about that. Are you sure you want to walk in, dear? That's 3 floors, hoofing it all the way.
If you can do it, I can.
I'll bet so. Is your ticket all right?
Top notch.
Oh, good, because I don't want to jumpstart you.
Having lost his mask, Daniel shoves his face in a cake and pretends that it's Mrs. Doubtfire's nightly meringue mask.
Hello! Oh, I'm sorry to frighten you, dear. I must look like a yeti in this get-up. This is my nightly meringue mask.
That much was scripted. The rest was all Williams. The hot studio lights began melting the icing on Williams' face, and it genuinely began dripping off into the tea. Williams decided to just run with it, and he gave audiences a classic bit of comedy in the process.
As you can see, I can't stay with you, dear. I'm melting like a snow cone in Phoenix. There we go again. I'll go get Danny, all right? He'll be right with you. Hold on. Danny!
Number 3, the broadcasts. Good Morning, Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll.
In this war comedy drama, Williams plays Adrian Cronauer, a real United States Air Force airman who served as a military DJ throughout the Vietnam War. Williams' performance as Cronauer was widely acclaimed, and it earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor.
Well, thank you, Roosevelt. What's the weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot. Hot in this is my shorts. I can cook things in it. Little crotch pot cooking.
According to the movie's producer, Mark Johnson, most of the DJ scenes were entirely improvised by Williams. In the movie's production notes, Johnson stated, quote, "When he sat down in the control booth to do the scenes involving Cronauer's broadcasts, we just let the cameras roll. He managed to create something new for every single take." Such was the manic energy and unbelievable creativity of Robin Williams.
Remember the people who brought you Korea. That's right, the U.S. Army. If it's being done correctly, here or abroad, it's probably not being done by the Army.
Number 2, farting in sleep. Good Will Hunting. Despite being one of his more serious roles, Williams still found time to imbue Sean Maguire with a funny bone.
Hey, whatever blows your hair back. Yeah. Haven't got much hair left. Hey, you know you'd be better off shoving that cigarette up your ass. It'd probably be healthier for you.
During a heart-to-heart with Will, Sean mentions that he has to learn to embrace a woman's imperfections.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous. She had all sorts of wonderful little idiosyncrasies.
To give an example, he tells Will that his late wife used to fart in her sleep. That line, and the resulting discussion, were entirely improvised by Williams and Matt Damon. And Damon's laughter was reportedly genuine.
Oh, God. She woke herself up. Oh, Christ. But Will, she's been dead 2 years, and that's the shit I remember.
Some viewers even noticed the camera shaking right after Sean says, "I didn't have the heart to tell her."
I'm sorry I shared that with you. One night it was so loud it woke the dog up. She woke up and got like, "Oh, was that you?" See, I didn't have the heart to tell her.
Indicating that the camera operator was laughing alongside Williams and Damon. Oh, what it would have been like to work with this man. Number 1, celebrity impressions. Aladdin.
What would you wish of me?
Be ever impressive.
The one contained, but never duplicated. Duplicated. Genie of the Lamp.
As stated before, Aladdin may be Robin Williams' greatest work. So much so, in fact, that he reportedly gave the filmmakers 16 hours of content. Animation supervisor Eric Goldberg recalls that he had Williams for 4 4-hour sessions, and Williams filled that time with improvisations, jokes, lines, and tons of celebrity impressions.
Looks like we're gonna have to find a way out of here.
Excuse me? Are you looking at me? Did you rub my lamp? Did you wake me up? Did you bring me here? And all of a sudden you're walking out on me? I don't think so. Not right now. You're getting your wishes, so sit down!
Goldberg told Entertainment Weekly, quote, "When we got Robin in the recording studio, out came all the celebrity impressions."
That's a good move. I can't believe it. I'm losing to a rug.
So aside from busting a gut laughing, we just looked at each other and said, we can't not use this stuff. The result was Genie's signature use of celebrity impressions, and the rare case of animators working around a voice actor. Williams really could do anything.
Genie, I need help.
All right, Sparky, here's the deal. If you want to court the little lady, you gotta be a straight shooter. Do you got it?
Can you imagine having to work opposite Robin Williams? It's a wonder they got any work done at all. You know, with all the impromptu fits of laughter. Well, here now are all the times Robin Williams broke everyone.
She woke up and got like, oh, is that you? I said, yeah.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the funniest moments when Robin Williams induced unscripted or unplanned laughter from the cast and crew.
Well, surely you must be the Son of God.
Number 10. Cracking Up with Philip Seymour Hoffman, Patch Adams. A seasoned pro of the screen, Philip Seymour Hoffman starred in many notable dramas and even won the Oscar in 2006 for playing Truman Capote.
I'm so sorry. I've been away.
Point is, he doesn't seem like the type of actor who would break easily. Yet he and Robin Williams were having the time of their lives on the set of Patch Adams.
Hi, Patch Adams. Mitch Roman. To Georgetown University. I was awarded the William F. Thompson Scientific Achievement Award.
Hoffman and Williams just can't seem to get through the scene in which Mitch introduces himself to Patch. They incessantly giggle like a couple of teenagers on a mind-altering substance, and they can't make it 2 sentences without breaking.
I was awarded the William F. Thompson Scientific. I hate this part. You always do that.
We wish we were on set that day. It seemed like a good time.
This isn't right. Not at these prices.
Oh, no.
Okay, here we go. Last time. This is it.
Number 9. The Broadcasts. Good Morning, Vietnam. Robin Williams earned his first Oscar nomination for playing Adrian Cronauer, an armed forces DJ who keeps morale high during the Vietnam War.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Adrian's hilarious broadcasts were largely improvised by Williams, with producer Mark Johnson saying they, quote, just let the cameras roll.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early.
What resulted was cinematic magic, with many people losing their composure both in front of and behind said cameras. There's also a scene where Adrian breaks from the radio and entertains a group of GIs in person.
Hey, we'd like to welcome you to Vietnam, the country that is more stimulating than a strong cup of cappuccino or an espresso enema.
Many of these extras did not speak English, yet they still laughed at Williams' physical mannerisms, and their genuine laughter was included in the film.
Quick news flash. Former President Eisenhower, actually cartoon character Elmer Fudd. He was quoted as saying, "Thank you, America. It was fun being president."
Number 8. Slipping on the Floor, The Birdcage. One of Williams' more underrated comedies, The Birdcage contains one of the funniest scenes in his filmography. And it's not thanks to the script, but Williams himself.
You've got to get in there. Everything is going to hell. You didn't make an entree. What? What do you mean? We just have soup?
Your peasant soup is an entree. It's like a stew. What do you think I put so much in it for?
Shut up!
Armand, Val, and Agador are panicking inside a kitchen, and Armand eventually slips on the floor.
Shut up!
Williams genuinely slipped and fell, and Armand telling Agador that he was all right was actually Williams informing Hank Azaria.
It's okay. We're all right.
Funnily enough, Williams is the one who breaks from this mistake. While the other two are mostly successful in keeping a straight face, it's Williams who briefly giggles while desperately trying to stay in character.
What are you standing there for? Go! Go! She'll be here in a minute. Go!
Number 7. Making Ben Stiller laugh. Night at the Museum. Robin Williams clearly had a penchant for making even the most professional of actors laugh. He stars alongside screen veteran Ben Stiller in Night at the Museum, playing a living wax sculpture of Theodore Roosevelt.
Climb aboard, boy.
Take the hand, son.
One scene required Stiller to kneel over Williams as he lay in the snow, and for some reason, it brought out the giggles.
Listen, I'm fine. All we have to do now is to do something because half the museum's running amok. I'm sorry.
They're barely able to string 3 words together without laughing. And at one point, director Sean Levy can be heard telling them to, quote, take a breath. Stiller's little jig does nothing to help, and he breaks again, forcing Levy to finally call cut.
Cut it. Cut.
We don't blame Stiller. We'd be laughing too. Number 6. Farting. Patch Adams. We return to the medical comedy for the most universal form of humor. That of a good, loud fart. The camera is slowly panning into Williams when he lets loose, forcing an immediate breaking of character from everyone around him.
Stop.
Monica Potter smiles and looks a bit disgusted while Daniel London immediately laughs and turns to a slightly embarrassed Williams.
Stop.
And while we don't see Philip Seymour Hoffman's reaction, he's clearly grinning when the camera pans back to him. Williams doesn't even have to open his mouth to get everyone around him laughing. Such is the connective power of a good toot. Number 5. Making Elmo cringe. Sesame Street. Robin Williams starred multiple times on Sesame Street, often bearded and wearing both a baseball cap and a colorful shirt.
What are you
going to do with that stick?
Oh, Elmo, there's lots of things you can do with this stick. You can start off, you can be playing baseball in the World Series. Hit it over the fence and realize, I'm the one!
He appeared during the 1991 special Big Bird's Birthday or Let Me Eat Cake, showing Elmo the imaginative power of a simple stick. The 2018 documentary Robin Williams Come Inside My Mind contains outtakes from this segment, and they are every bit as enjoyable as you would think.
Maybe it could be like a baton. There you are, conducting a full orchestra. Thank you, Madonna, for that lovely lingerie melody. I better go back. We'll never be able to do that. I realize.
The clips ooze with charm, as Williams makes the crew laugh with his silly antics. The funniest part comes when Elmo accidentally calls him Mr. Robbins, prompting a great reaction that warms the heart and soothes the soul.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Robbins.
Mr. Robbins? Taking the stick back, Elmo.
Number 4. Laughing with Robert De Niro, Awakenings. Not to belabor the he makes seasoned pros laugh point, but come on, this is Robert freaking De Niro we're talking about here.
Now, Lennon, if you could turn this way, please. It's a camera called a Polaroid. Thank you.
In fact, De Niro earned an Oscar nomination for playing encephalitis patient Leonard Lowe, proving that he was at the top of his game on set. Yet he couldn't help but laugh alongside his co-star. Williams stumbles during one scene, leading to a prolonged joke in which he starts doing another voice.
It's an idea before it's time, but let's try it. I've wanted to talk like this for the entire movie.
This voice makes De Niro laugh even harder, and to be honest, we don't think we've ever seen him like that. De Niro has always seemed like a very serious person, yet here he is belly laughing with the rest of us.
Lenny and I have an idea.
Number 3, making everyone laugh. Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's hard to name the funniest segment in Whose Line history, but may we suggest scenes from A Hat with Robin Williams?
I'm paranoid. God.
Williams was on fire the whole episode, elevating the energy and effort from everyone else. But he really shines during scenes from A Hat. It's just wall-to-wall hilarity, and the laughter literally never stops for 3.5 minutes.
Is this the loved one? All right, start the truck, Johnny. Wow, look at him move! Isn't that incredible, ladies and gentlemen? With just 6 volts, you can make your relatives dance again!
The audience is clearly having the time of their lives, and the other performers are often doubled over in laughter. Even the inscrutable Colin Mockery laughs on more than one occasion, even though he's the one usually causing the breaking. Oh, to have been in that audience.
Who's your daddy?
Number 2, Stuck in the Floor, Jumanji. 90s kids may remember the visual of Alan Parrish being stuck in the wooden attic floor, the unfortunate result of playing the titular Jumanji.
That was very quick thinking. Sarah and I would like to get out of the floor.
Even having his face stuck inside a prop floor isn't enough to stop Williams from bringing the heat. Bonnie Hunt gets the giggles acting alongside Williams' face, and frankly, we don't blame her. It'd be quite hard taking that visual seriously.
Do I have that effect on you?
No.
What?
It's something else.
What is it?
Nothing.
It's not Catholic, is it?
No, it's nothing to do with a dead relative or anything. It's just...
Williams keeps the laughs and smiles coming, making jokes about religion, crafting stupid puns, and screaming in her face for no reason.
What?
Just felt I should do that.
And yes, just like Patch Adams, there's even a fart.
Hearing voices.
It's okay, I just farted.
Let's do that one again, okay? The farting part.
Number 1, The Fart Story, Good Will Hunting. Okay, so Robin Williams clearly had a thing for farting. Even a comedic genius such as him found value in it.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous.
Good Will Hunting is one of Williams' most serious roles, playing the grieving Sean Maguire. But he still finds time to squeak in a good fart joke.
She used to fart in her sleep.
Sean tells Will a funny anecdote about his late wife tooting in her sleep, and the entire bit was ad-libbed by Williams.
One night it was so loud it woke the dog up.
Will's reaction is genuine laughter from Matt Damon, and legend has it that the camera operator also chuckled, causing the screen to subtly shake. Not only is the speech hilarious, it also adds a beautifully and oddly touching dimension to Sean's character. Such was the genius of Robin Williams.
Those are the things I miss the most.
What joke had you laughing the hardest?
Quite something very, very amazing, really funny.
All right, we here at WatchMojo have actually pinpointed the funniest moments from Robin Williams' movies. It was no easy task, but we're starting with the ones from the 1980s.
Good
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the funniest moments from every Robin Williams comedy of the 1980s.
I'm Popeye the Sailor. I'm Popeye the Sailor.
Hey, you said I was allowed one call. A blue jay.
What are you saying, brother?
Yes, yeah. I say goodbye to my saxophone.
For this list, we're looking at the best laughs from the late Robin Williams' earlier work. Only movies released prior to 1990 will be included. Think we missed a hilarious moment? Number 7, I Am What I Am, Popeye. After everything Robin Williams achieved over the course of his career, Popeye seems so removed from his typical fare. Having seen success from his television career, it was the first time audiences got to experience his acting chops on the big screen in a starring role.
You know, it's one thing I got, it's a sense of humor.
Where did you get that pronunciation?
Released in 1980, the movie wasn't a huge success, but not for a lack of talent from Williams. One notable highlight is the I Am What I Am musical number.
What am I? I'm Popeye, the sailor. And I am what I am, what I am, and I am what I am, and that's all that I am, 'cause I am what I am. You got it? I think so, yeah.
As passengers are watching the carnival horse game, we catch a few laughs as Popeye sings and fights his way through the crowd. It is a comical number in an otherwise less than stellar movie, carried by Williams' spot-on impression.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
Number 6, From Hero to Villain, The World According to Garp. When we think of Robin Williams in dramatic roles, The World According to Garp is not one that jumps out. However, this was one of the earliest signs that Williams could have a career beyond comedy.
It's really nice, you know, to look back and see the arc of your life. And it's all connected. How you got from there to here. See the line, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It really has been an adventure.
In his second starring film role, Williams' T.S. Garp is certainly understated, alongside powerhouse actors like Glenn Close and John Lithgow. Of course, we do get to see some of his signature silly humor in a mock battle scene featuring his two sons.
You're wounded! As soon as you're wounded, you become a villain!
That's the rules. You're a villain.
I'll become the villain.
Dressed in garbage can lids and a welcome mat, we can't help but smile as he attacks the bad guys, and eventually dies from his wounds. Number 5, The Phone Call, The Survivors. Donald and Sonny are two New Yorkers who lose their jobs and cross paths in a diner.
Hey, could you cut that out or go someplace else, please?
Excuse me?
The moaning, the moaning noises you're making every couple of minutes. It's beginning to get to me.
I don't know who you're hearing moaning, pal, but I don't moan.
Played by Robin Williams and Walter Matthau, respectively, the two characters' lives become intertwined when Donald's failed attempt to thwart a robbery puts Sonny's life in danger. It's an interesting mix of comedy between these two great actors.
Damn it! I'm not going to see this man dangle for your delight. Come on, you can take our wallets, but you can't take our dignity.
Unlike our previous two entries, The Survivors gives us a Robin Williams we recognize in film for the first time. Our favorite scene is Donald talking on the phone to the man who's threatening Sonny.
Well, you don't scare me. Matter of fact, you amuse me. And next time I see you, I'll try not to laugh in your little inbred face.
From insults to quips, this is the kind of comedy we would come to recognize from the late actor.
Well, you drive fast, Oyster Brain. Yes, indeed. Because the sooner you get here, the sooner there'll be one less wart on the ass of society.
Number 4, In the Grocery Store, Moscow on the Hudson.
Coffee?
I'll too.
Unless you happen to be a die-hard Robin Williams fan, some of his earlier works may have eluded you. The lesser-known Moscow on the Hudson is worth seeing for this moment alone, though. The film tells the story of Vladimir Ivanov's decision to defect from Russia after coming to New York City with a circus troupe. As Vladimir, we see Williams play out a series of scenes as this conflicted Russian man.
To tell you the truth, Orlando, New York frightens me. It's brutal. It's crazy.
Erring more on the dramatic side, we do get to see a few drops of Williams' comedic talents. We can't help but laugh as Vladimir goes into the grocery store and is overwhelmed by the massive choices for something as simple as coffee. It's subtle, but still enough to give us a chuckle.
Coffee, 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 coffee.
Number 3. The Wrong Kind of Air, Club Paradise. Club Paradise finds Williams living in the Caribbean islands as an eccentric resort owner named Jack Monaker. It's a movie that did not do well with critics, and time has not yielded any further praise.
Oh, no thanks. Last time I smoked that stuff, they found me on top of the Sears Tower trying to build a nest.
A few quips here and there give us a laugh or two, but it's the helium mishap that kills us.
Now you stay here and honk if there's any trouble. Wait a minute. This is helium. God damn it, I brought the wrong thing.
Jack is supposed to sneak onto a rival's yacht by scuba diving over to it, but he accidentally brings helium instead of oxygen in his tank. This leads to a hilarious bit where Jack's frustration turns comedic with the help of a chipmunk-toned voice.
Oh, that's a nice buzz. Oh, boy.
Number 2. Got to Satisfy, The Best of Times.
Mr. Weasel's here.
What is it with movies centered around bad football moves? Long before Ray Finkel missed a field goal in Ace Ventura, Jack Dundee missed the final pass in The Best of Times. Jack's been obsessed with his missed opportunity from that fateful game.
Come on. You remember, Reno remembers, the whole goddamn town remembers.
Okay, I remember.
And?
And you should have caught the damn ball.
I knew it!
Robin Williams does his best as Jack to show us the lengths some folks will go to in order to right what they feel was a wrong from years gone by. Although the football game itself has some funny moments, we give our props to the pseudo-striptease.
Jack, Aquarius, gotta satisfy.
It's not as over-the-top as Williams' typical comedy, but it does give us a laugh when we need it. Number 1. Adrian Hits the Airwaves. Good Morning, Vietnam.
Time to rocket from the Delta to the DMZ. Is that me or does that sound like an Elvis Presley movie? Viva Da Nang. Oh, Viva Da Nang. Denying me, why don't they get a rope and hang me?
Adrian Cronauer was a perfect role for Robin Williams to finally show the world his brand of manic comedy.
Let's play this backwards and see if it gets any better.
Woof, this Niv, Freddy is the devil. Woof, this Niv, Freddy is the devil.
We'd seen hints of it in the previous entries on this list, but Good Morning Vietnam gave Williams the opportunity to really give us what we would come to associate him with: improvisational comedy. Director Barry Levinson gave Williams the latitude to use improv during the filming of the movie, particularly in the DJ booth scenes. Although there were specific beats the director wanted in the booth, much of what you see is Robin's signature improv at work. It's what he thrived on. It's what we loved about him. And it's why this is our number 1 pick.
Too much?
Okay, are you ready for more side-splitting moments from Robin Williams movies? Well, you better get ready, because here now are the funniest scenes from his movies in the 1990s.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the funniest moment from every Robin Williams comedy of the 1990s.
Everyone, let's welcome Chuck. Bienvenue, my silent people!
All right! Yo, yo, woo, woo, woo. Okay, think we've worked out all the insects. Giddy up.
For this list, we're looking at the most hilarious moments from this late genius's 1990s films, including both live-action and animated films. Have a favorite comedic moment from Robin's 90s films? Number 15. Explosives from the Garden State, Cadillac Man. From the first time we meet car salesman Joey O'Brien, it's not a big leap to see all the troubles he's in. From affairs to his job and beyond, Joey is in deep in all the wrong ways.
You're not trying to sell me a car, are you? At my husband's funeral? Before he's even in the ground? Are you?
Yes.
You sleaze.
Although this film wasn't a huge box office success, Robin Williams livens up every movie he's in, and his fun portrayal of Joey in Cadillac Man definitely does give us a few good laughs. One of our favorites is when Joey is being held hostage at gunpoint. There's some confusion about what type of high-tech explosives the hostage taker has.
M2 plastic.
Plastic?
M2 plastic.
Plastic?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
M2 plastic!
Robin is forced to tell the police where the assailant got his explosives from. And as The Sopranos taught us, New Jersey is funny.
Where the hell did he get that? Jersey!
Number 14, insults at dinner. Hook.
Eat your heart out, you crinkled, wrinkled, fat hag.
You're a very ill-mannered young man. Do you know
You're a
that?
slug-eating worm.
There have been more than 15 different adaptations of the famous Peter Pan story for film and television. But with Steven Spielberg behind it, this movie version made a big, splash. Williams played the leading role and gave it his usual enthusiastic verve.
Prison barber.
Mother lover.
Nearsighted gynecologist.
In your face, camel cake.
In your rear, cow derriere.
Lying, crying, spying, prying, ultra pig.
You lewd, crude, rude, bag of pre-chewed food dude.
Given his ability to bring in improv quips and a huge range of comedic influences, we love his distinctive version of this character. A real highlight is the battle of words between Peter and Rufio. It's a child versus an adult back and forth filled with several jabs only adults would get.
What's the paramecium brain?
I'll tell you what a paramecium is. That's a paramecium. It's a one-celled critter with no brain that can't fly. Don't mess with me, man. I'm a lawyer.
Number 13, terrible French. Shakes the clown.
Bonjour. Je suis Mme Jerry, et vous?
This lesser-known entry in Williams' filmography has quite a few entertaining moments. Under the pseudonym Marty Fromage, Robin has a small role as Mime Jerry. The entire scene takes place in, yes, a mime class, as Jerry uses shakes, played by Bobcat Goldthwait, to illustrate the art of mimicry.
Chuck, are we on medication or we don't know what a wall is? Let's make it a single wall, not putting your hand in shit. Come on, Chuck, tighten the little breast up there or I'll break it. There we go. There you go, Chuck, tighten it.
There's plenty of comedy to be found in this scene, but we took fondly to the opener. Speaking in terrible French, Jerry tries to introduce himself to Shakes, only to completely confuse him. It may go over your head if you're not well versed in the language of Molière, but it's certainly a funny take on Francais.
There we go. Oh, think about being eaten and then curl up. Curl up, Chuck! There we go! Come on, there we go. Curl, curl, oh, curl, curl, curl.
Number 12, a memorable movement, The Fisher King.
You know who I am?
I'm drawing a blank.
Well, take a guess. Let him guess,
This is one of those movies that tends to get overlooked when people revisit Robin Williams' career. Matched with Jeff Bridges, Williams plays Perry, a former professor who is now homeless and believes himself to be on an Arthurian mission to find the Holy Grail.
A food ornament.
No. I'm a knight on a special quest. And I need help.
There are so many moments in this movie that allow Williams to show off his talents both as a comedic and dramatic actor. On the funnier side, we can't stop chuckling at Perry's depiction of a mystical bathroom experience, involving a lot of groaning and toilet humor.
Oh, there they were.
Only Williams could make us laugh so heartily about all of it. Number 11, Friend Like Me, Aladdin.
Master, I don't think you quite realize what you've got here. So why don't you just ruminate whilst I illuminate the possibilities?
Did you know that Robin recorded over 16 hours of improv voice work for the movie Aladdin? It was a role that was literally written for him. Others have played the character and done it justice, but there's ultimately no comparison to how fluid Robin's portrayal was.
Did ever impressive.
The one contained, but never duplicated. Duplicated. Genie of the Lamp.
It is quite hard for us to pick a single moment from this movie as a highlight, as there are so many great ones. We really dig his long batch of impressions, but ultimately we've settled on Friend Like Me. It's a great little musical number that combines Williams' great delivery with a classic Disney theme.
You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend like me.
Number 10, Room Zoom, Toys.
Is this room getting smaller or am I bloating?
No,
We're being attacked by a crossword puzzle.
In this Barry Levinson fantasy comedy, Williams plays Leslie Zevo, a toy maker whose father thinks is too immature to take over the family company. Unlike most of his other roles, this one features a Robin Williams who is far more subdued than usual. But of course, subdued and more mellow doesn't mean it's not funny.
It's a good Bordeaux, isn't it? He's got a good nose.
Would you like more?
Yes, I can't get enough of it.
One notable highlight is the snarky factory discussion in a small, stark room about the composition of fake vomit, which culminates in the walls moving in like some demented crossword version of the Star Wars garbage compactor scene. While not uproarious, it's a more literal type of gut-busting humor.
I like that. That's very colorful. What's that?
That's our duck sausage and cilantro. We call it the Wolfgang Chuck.
And look, there's a Wyatt Earp. I love that one.
Ah, but we added okra. Now it's a Bible belch.
That's very nice. What the hell is going on here?
Number 9. Flash forward, Mrs. Doubtfire. Here's a more classic boisterous Robin. As Daniel Hillard, he's a man who loves his children dearly, but is at risk of losing them in a divorce. In a desperate attempt to maintain a connection, he gets hired by his ex-wife as Mrs. Doubtfire, a housekeeper.
Hello. Mrs. Hillard, I presume?
Yes, I'm Miranda Hillard.
Euphigenia Doubtfire.
Granted, pretty much everything Williams does as this character is pure comedic genius, but our favorite moment has to be when Daniel, as Doubtfire, is trying to cook and accidentally catches the front of his shirt on fire.
This hollandaise smells like burnt rubber. God, it's hot in here.
Between the antics of putting the fire out and his comment about hot flashes, we cannot stop laughing.
Look at this. My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
Number 8. Get out of there, Jumanji. As any serious gamer will tell you, there are moments when it feels like the real world is mimicking the gaming one. Jumanji just happens to be a bit more literal about it.
Jumanji.
Robin plays Alan Parrish, a man who becomes trapped inside the world of Jumanji for more than 20 years. Williams' signature frenetic style of delivery is on full display when he's ejected from the game.
Somebody roll a 5 or an 8.
He did.
This spawns all kinds of chaos in the home he grew up in, as well as the surrounding town. As we're just getting to know him, he starts yelling and grunting like a gorilla. Go Robin!
Monkeys! Monkeys!
Number 7. She needs a what? 9 months.
This woman needs an enema.
An enema?
Enema? No, she needs a pedicure.
Pedicure? This ain't no goddamn beauty parlor.
Epitaph.
Epitaph? She's not dead, you moron.
Epidermis? What is it, epilady?
Epidural, asshole!
A movie like 9 Months shows us again that Robin Williams doesn't need to be the lead in a movie to be its star. A story about a man's reluctance to become a father, Hugh Grant portrays the leading man, with Julianne Moore at his side. But every time Williams enters a scene as their doctor, he grabs our attention more than the expectant couple.
Look, you see? That is why women have the babies, you see? Because men can't handle the power.
Fainting at the sight of a massive needle is hilarious, as is all the physical comedy in the exam room. Our favorite moment is the doctor's complete butchering of the English language, which confuses everyone.
I always get those confused. Enema, pedicure, epidermal. I should buy myself a clitoris.
You need a thesaurus is what you need.
Number 6. A manly rip. Jack.
I want to hear a manly rip. Show us what you're made of.
Oh, wait. Oh, just warming up, just clearing my throat.
Much like an entry we'll see a little later, Jack is a movie that takes something that is overly serious and tries to put a comedic spin on it.
Your problem is, mister, you got the Zackley disease. What's that?
So your mouth smells exactly like your butt.
The main character, Jack, played by Williams, has a rare condition that causes him to age 4 times faster than normal people. At 10, he looks like he's about 40 years old. This, of course, is played heavily for laughs, as Robin Williams himself got a good chunk of his star power from exuding childlike wonder and energy. In a great kid moment, we see Jack deliver a series of gaseous gags, literally, with his friends. We are tooting the horn of this kind of humor. It doesn't fall flatulent to us.
Out, demon spirit!
Number 5. Forget the shrimp. The birdcage. The world of the 1990s was not quite as accepting of the LGBTQ+ community as we are thankfully now. Yet we did get to see the release of The Birdcage, which saw Williams play an openly gay character.
Fosse, 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 you do Martha Graham, Martha Graham, Martha Graham, or Twyla, 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 or Michael Kidd, Michael Kidd, Michael Kidd, Michael Kidd, or Madonna, Madonna, Madonna.
The banter and chemistry between him and Nathan Lane is part of what made this movie so popular, and earned it many award nominations.
Get the goddamn pinky down. All right, make your fingers like iron, all right? Yeah, and stop trembling. Hold the knife boldly and with strength.
I'm gonna pierce the toes.
One of the best moments comes when Williams' character Armand panics over a meal. The conversation between him and the chef spirals out of control and eventually erupts in a quip about the shrimp. And it only gets better from there.
Shut up, goddammit! It's all right, stop crying! Goddamn you! What are you standing there for? Go! Go! She'll be here in a minute, go! Damn it! The shrimp!
Number 4. In the Shower. Father's Day. In 1986, Robin Williams co-hosted the first edition of the Comic Relief fundraiser. It's here he began a long comedic relationship with Billy Crystal. It wasn't until 11 years later that the two finally got a chance to star in a movie together.
Ah! What are you doing?
Oh, Jack.
What was that?
I'm sorry.
I turned around and you blacked out.
I'm sorry.
What was that?
Hey, well, in crisis situations, I have these anxiety attacks and I hyperventilate and I pass out for a moment. I'm sorry, Jack.
Father's Day did not do well at the box office, but there were numerous funny scenes, including one where Robin's character is trying to help his son in the bathroom.
Explain to me what is going on there.
It's very complicated, okay?
You're soaking wet! Get over here, dry as toes!
Honey, I have to go. I have to help him towel off the boy.
Speaking of this dynamic comedy duo, we do also have to give kudos to the improv scene Robin and Billy did on the set of Friends. It perks us right up.
And you are no longer my friend. We are finished. Nada, no more. You are a bastard for doing that. Come on. Get away from me.
Come back.
Number 3. Flubber on the Inside. Flubber. As we move through this list, it's interesting to note how many films Robin was a part of that did not see massive commercial successes. But they're always good for some laughs nonetheless.
How do you hold it in?
Well, like everybody else, Ruthie, I just cross my legs real tight.
Flubber is a remake of a 60s Disney classic and features plenty of wild special effects. One very notable hilarious scene, with Robin a bystander for a change, sees the Flubber itself enter Wilson Croft, an adversary of Williams' character Philip Brainerd. The resulting inhalation causes some very funny movements, and quite the ejection from Croft himself.
Oh, mommy.
It might be a little lowbrow, but hey, as already noted, we love it. Number 2, Clowning Around. Patch Adams.
I have a cold. Just a bit of a cold. Is my nose red? Oh, it is.
In the same vein as the previously mentioned Jack, Patch Adams is a movie that tells a very touching story about something very real. Based on a real doctor's story, it showcases a completely different approach to caring for sick people, not simply providing treatment for them. Williams provides countless moments throughout the movie that make us laugh, cry, and feel for both his journey and those of his patients.
Maybe Beanie knows a lot more than we give him credit for. Excuse me, Beanie? Which way is heaven?
Correct. That'll be enough, Hunter.
Beanie, how much taller is Wilt Chamberlain than you?
Right.
From jokes about which direction heaven can be found, to our favorite red-nosed clown scene, he shows us that laughter can often be as powerful as any medicine. Number 1. Cramming Jokes. Bicentennial Man. When it comes to films centered around artificial intelligence, Bicentennial Man is not necessarily one that comes up in discussion very often. But it is a fascinating film, where over a span of hundreds of years, The robot Andrew, played by Williams, goes through many transformations that ultimately see him recognized as human.
Please, be careful. Don't drop me.
I'm being careful.
Oh my God!
Just relax, relax, relax.
Why did you do that? That wasn't very funny.
Just keeping you on your toes.
I don't have any toes.
You do now.
A commentary on what it is to be human, this movie does indeed provide the opportunity for Robin to crack a joke or two. Or maybe just a few more.
Two cannibals were eating a clown. One turns to the other and says, "Does this taste funny to you? How do you make a hanky dance? Put a little boogie in it. What is a brunette between two blondes? Translator."
Williams is in peak form as he fires through a whole series of jokes in rapid succession. It is many funny moments packed into one.
And it was fine, but we might want to talk about appropriateness and timing.
It's 10:15, sir.
Okay, what better way to end today's special than with a look back at all the times that made us fall in love with Robin Williams.
Making people laugh is one of the hardest things in showbiz, but he made it look so easy. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 funniest Robin Williams moments we'll never forget.
You can get attacked by a variety of different people, but it was very freeing to do that knowing that right over there's the plaza and you're going, Ivana! Check this out, baby!
For this list, we're looking at the most hilarious moments in TV, film, and pop culture from this comedy legend.
Congratulations on getting married. That's lovely.
Wonderful.
It's very nice.
Getting married for the third time, my best man Bobcat said it's like bringing a burn victim to a fireworks show.
Number 10. Acting Lessons, The Birdcage. Williams and Nathan Lane, a comedy heavyweight in his own right, go together like birds of a feather in this uproarious farce.
Don't use that tone to me.
What tone?
That sarcastic, contemptuous tone that means you know everything because you're a man and I know nothing because I'm a woman.
You're not a woman.
Oh, you bastard.
Williams played Armand, a gay drag club proprietor whose son intends to marry into a far-right family. To avoid an uncomfortable confrontation, Armand teaches his lover Albert, played by Lane, to pass as a straight uncle. Alas, even the simplest gestures like spreading mustard on bread ends in drama.
Get the goddamn pinky down. All right, make your fingers like iron, all right? Yeah, and stop trembling. Hold the knife boldly and straight.
Albert just can't seem to shake his pinky habit either. As outrageous as Lane is, Williams also finds just the right comedic balance of being frustrated yet supportive. Armand's lessons on manliness go a bit too far, however, when he picks a fight with a stranger who turns out to be twice his size.
Hey, you take it easy, Pilgrim.
He bumped into me.
Tough gazungus.
Why are you being such a prick?
Why are you being such an asshole?
Are you calling me an asshole?
Number 9. The Improv King. Whose line is it anyway? Williams was arguably the greatest improv comedian who ever lived, making him a perfect fit for Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Ryan and Robin are two Italian chefs making pizzas when you notice unusually large rodents in the kitchen. Wayne enters later as the exterminator they've called to the scene.
Despite only appearing on the show once in season 3, Williams fit in so flawlessly it was as if he had returned to his natural habitat.
What's the
matter, you?
Why are you talking like
Williams delivered no shortage of on-the-spot one-liners, particularly during a Hollywood director bit in which he played an Italian chef. Of course, the best improv comics know how to work off their troupe members as opposed to making the sketch all about themselves.
Oh, please. Fine. Work hard. Work hard.
All right. You know what?
Last night you didn't say that.
Williams shared instant chemistry with Colin Mockery, Ryan Stiles, and especially Wayne Brady. He may have been the most famous person on set, but Williams came off like just one of the guys. Number 8. And the winner is not Robin Williams, the 8th Critics' Choice Awards. For his disturbing turn in 1 Hour Photo, Williams was one of the 3 Best Actor nominees at the Critics' Choice Awards. He lost, however, to Daniel Day-Lewis and Jack Nicholson, who tied.
I'm going to say the first name. This wonderful person can come up here and say thank you, and then I will say the second name, so there's going to be so much dramatic tension in this one.
This obviously meant that Williams came in last place, but he managed to steal the show regardless. Nicholson, claiming to be baked, asked Williams to come on stage and give a funny speech, which he was more than happy to do. Even after telling Jack to wrap up the speech, Williams continued to chime in with cracks about the Irish and his loss. It's a shame these two never did a comedy together, as Williams' high energy blended well with Nicholson's laid-back, dazed persona.
I really wanted to say how grateful I am to the film critics for honoring Robin and...
It's a tie with 3 people!
Well, at least we have this priceless acceptance speech. Number 7. She used to fart in her sleep. Good Will Hunting. While best known for his comedic chops, it was Williams' dramatic role as Dr. Sean Maguire that won him an Oscar.
Why is trust the most important thing in making a breakthrough with a client? Maureen, stop their oral fixation for a moment and join us.
Williams' signature improv skills still shone through in a few key moments, however. The funniest example is when Sean reminisces about his late wife and how she used to fart in her slumber.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous. She had all sorts of wonderful little idiosyncrasies. You know, she used to fart in her sleep. I'm sorry I shared that with you. One night it was so loud it woke the dog up.
An unprepared Matt Damon is unable to hold back his laughter, making the moment all the more authentic. Although we typically don't associate fart jokes with Oscar gold, the humor is character-based. Sean tells Will that when you truly love somebody, it's the quirky little imperfections that make them special. Now that Sean's wife is gone, he misses her nighttime flatulence even more.
But Will, she's been dead 2 years, and that's the shit I remember. It's wonderful stuff, you know? Little things like that. Yeah, but those are the things I miss the most.
Jeez, only Williams could get us choked up over farts. Number 6. Golf. Robin Williams live on Broadway. We're all familiar with golf, but how exactly did the sport come to fruition?
I knock a ball in a gopher hole. Oh, you mean like pool?
Williams gave his own hysterical interpretation of golf's genesis on his Broadway stand-up special. Tapping into his Scottish ancestry, Williams makes this commonplace game sound like the drunken ravings of a madman.
I put the hole hundreds of yards away. Oh, yeah. That's great fun there. Oh, yeah, that's a great thing. Oh, like a bowling thing.
After all, why else would somebody hit a ball into a gopher hole from miles away? Why would they add to the frustration by putting in tall trees and sandboxes? Above all else, who in their right mind would want to do this 18 times? Up until this point, we just kind of accepted the rules of golf.
Whacking away, and each time you miss, you feel like you're gonna have a stroke.
Now, all we're ever going to see while watching the PGA Championship is somebody whacking a ball with a tire iron. Number 5. What year is it? Jumanji. Williams frequently poked fun at his own hairiness, but Jumanji took this to the next level. After being trapped in the jungle for 26 years, Alan Parrish emerges from the board game with more head and facial hair than a wild beast. As silly as he looks in his Tarzan ensemble, the scene does let the drama sink in as Alan learns that he was presumed dead.
Where's my mom and dad?
We don't know. This house has been empty for years. Everyone thought you were dead.
This is quickly balanced with some humor as Alan is almost run over by a police car. Alan's animal-like reflexes prevent an accident, but the officer inevitably has a few questions about the bearded guy on his car hood. It's nothing some carjacking monkeys can't solve, though, and it appears Alan's picked up on the primate language.
Get out of there! Ah, 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 ah! Ooh. Monkeys!
Number 4. Good Morning, Vietnam. Good Morning, Vietnam. By 1987, Williams had established himself as a stand-up and television legend, but he had yet to leave a major mark on the feature film front.
Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, this is not a test. This is rock and roll.
Williams officially made his claim to Hollywood royalty in Good Morning Vietnam as Adrian Cronauer kicks off his first radio broadcast. Although he's just sitting behind a microphone, Williams says every word with such manic energy that it practically melts the screen.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early. Speaking of early, how about that Cro-Magnon Marty Drywoods? Thank you, Marty, for silky smooth sound. Make me sound like Peggy Lee.
There's no time to breathe between jokes as he immediately jumps right into the next one. While the film differs significantly from Cronauer's real life, Williams' rapid-fire delivery made him a logical choice to play a disc jockey.
All right. Hey, what is this demilitarized zone? What do they mean, police action? Sounds like a couple of cops in Brooklyn going, no, she looks pretty to me. Hey, whatever it is, I like it because it gets you on your toes better than a strong cup of cappuccino.
Williams also brought his trademark ad-libbing to the table, coming up with broadcasts on the spot. Number 3, saving face, Mrs. Doubtfire. What do you do when your ex-wife won't share custody of the kids? You dress up as a Scottish nanny, of course.
Could you tell me your name?
My name? I thought I gave it to you, dear.
No.
Oh. Doubtfire.
Although the premise is far-fetched, Williams is actually quite convincing as an older woman, even when he's juggling personas. When a social worker drops in unexpectedly, Daniel must run back and forth between being himself and playing his much older sister. We often associate Williams with his one-liners, but watching him change in and out of drag demonstrates his capabilities as a physical comedian as well.
Sick. Mom!
Oh! My face.
Just when it looks like the jig is up, a cake to the face saves Daniel's skin. Daniel isn't so lucky at a restaurant, though, where he loses Mrs. Doubtfire's face again.
You all right there? Almost lost you.
Daddy?
Number 2, his Cecil B. DeMille Award acceptance speech, the 62nd Golden Globe Awards. Over 25 years after winning his first Golden Globe for Mork and Mindy, Williams' career culminated with the Cecil B. DeMille Award.
Robin, come and get it.
Thank you. My English is not so good.
Williams' humility was on full display, but this was also a natural platform for him to bring the funny. And did he ever? Since this award was given by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, Williams couldn't resist breaking out an arsenal of accents.
What a lovely Danish, Robbie. Try the Danish. So nice, the Danish is good for me.
He also poked fun at the decor, most notably drawing parallels between the statuette's design and Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction. You know you're a comedy master when even Jim Carrey is cracking up at your jokes. It's fitting that he dedicated this award to his late friend Christopher Reeve, as Williams was the Superman of comedy as far as we're concerned. I know what you're gonna say in the comments. How can you rank a top 10 of Robin Williams moments? All his moments are the best. And I agree, it's bananas. So which Robin Williams moment are you most likely to be caught quoting? For me, it's almost definitely number 1, although I do love the birdcage. So let's memorialize our honorable mentions, and then we'll see what's at the top.
And I'm so proud of you for winning this. The moment I turned and saw that she wasn't sitting there, and she's in the ladies' room.
Amiga los azules mayeros ahí, Cristi Lati Mariano. Ale Galeón.
Hello! Anybody in there? Little hatchling brothers, you must revolt against your oppressors. You have nothing to lose but your shells.
What's the matter?
Tim, I have a feeling my wife is sleeping with her gynecologist.
How do you know?
Well, you know, he's got access, you know.
You lewd, crude, rude, bag of pre-chewed food dude.
Make it right, Peter!
You man! Stupid man!
Rufio, if I'm a maggot burger, why don't you just eat me? You two-toned, zebra-headed, slime-coated, pimple-farming, paramecium brain, munching on your own mucus, suffering from Peter Pan envy.
So now, get it in there. Get it in there. Get it in there.
Okay, rub a dub.
Rub a dub. Dear Diary, day 2, rubbing meat.
30 minutes
30
at
minutes.
room temperature.
At room temperature, keep rubbing the meat for 30 minutes.
Number 1, the genie of 1,000 voices, Aladdin. Being the closest thing imaginable to a living cartoon character, Williams was born to lend his voice to animation, and the genie was the role of a lifetime.
Ten.
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
Voice acting was never the same after Aladdin rubbed his lamp and released the genie. Being cooped up for 10,000 years has apparently given Genie enough time to perfect his stand-up act, as he stretches both his comedy muscles and his literal muscles.
Hello, Aladdin. Nice to have you on the show. Can we call you Al, or maybe just Din? Or how about Laddie? Sounds like, here, boy. Come on, Laddie.
I must have hit my head harder than I thought.
Do you smoke? Mind if I do? Oh, sorry, Cheetah. Hope I didn't singe the fur.
Genie seamlessly transitions between impressions, referencing everyone from Arnold Schwarzenegger to Groucho Marx. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg, as Williams recorded a treasure trove of impressions and improvisations that couldn't be squeezed into one movie. Aladdin never had another friend like Genie, and there'll never again be a performer like Robin Williams.
That's it. 3. 1, 2, 3. No substitutions, exchanges, or refund.
Now I know I'm dreaming.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this special deep dive into the timeless classic that is Robin Williams. Thanks for watching, everybody. I've been Matt from Watch Mojo, and I'll see you next time.